Hi, I'm Jacques from Test Dynamics, and today we'll be discussing how to turn your TestStand database into a valuable business resource. TestStand is a test sequencing software package. This allows us to build tests in different programming languages and combine them into a single test. It also does a lot of the background stuff like logging, reporting, and user management. So today we're looking at this example where we're testing a mobile phone. So here I've got some tests written in .NET and some in LabVIEW. So if I go ahead and I run this, I'll just make everything pass for now. We can see that we get a nice report giving us our readings and our limits and some pictures and graphs if we want. So by default we get this report, but usually we want a bit more than that. So we want a bit of traceability, we want to go back and look at values, find problems. So to do this we simply go to result processing and enable database logging. By default the database that is used is an Access database, but that's not that useful for collating data and bringing data together from different test stations. So what we can do is we can create a database in something like Microsoft SQL, and we can just put in a connection string or a UDL file to connect to that. If I want to build this on a network database, I can simply run the built-in SQL script that is provided with TestStand, and that'll build the tables for me. So here we can see that I've already have a built version of the database. If we look at the layout, these are the most important tables for now. We log the result of every unit that was tested. So we've got the station where it was tested, the user that did the testing, and the final result, part number, and so on. For every step that ran, we have the result of the step, we have the name of the step, and the index of the step. This is directly connected to the UUT result table, so we can look up steps by unit under test. Each step has a bunch of properties, so these include things like the actual reading and certain other settings. And then we can also look up our limits and which sequences were called. And I can then run basic SQL commands to look up values from here. So I can, for instance, run a command like this. So this is a basic SQL command, and here I'm pulling out all my UUT information. So I can write SQL commands in practically any modern programming language. So I can build custom reports, look up custom trends, and so forth. So for today's demo, we're going to be using an open source tool called Grafana. So Grafana allows us to pull data from different data sources and plot them. So here we can see for this little time period, we ran 4 tests, 3 passed, 1 failed. I can go ahead and look at a longer period, look at all the tests in that period, zoom in, look at all the results for that period. So let's look at what happened today. So in this period I ran 4 tests, 3 passed, 1 failed. These are the details for those 4 tests. The fail happened with this serial number, with this user on this machine. I can obviously run multiple machines and write to the same database. And to set this up, I just need to know some very basic SQL. So here I'm saying give me the time, the start time of the test. Okay, I'm just doing a little time zone adjustment here. Give me the execution time value from this table, from start time, which is here, to end time, which is there, and just sort them in the order that they are in the DB, and that will generate this data for us. Okay, I can go and set this for a specific time period. I can tell it how often to update, so let's make that 10 seconds. and let's run a test. And I'm going to make this test fail on a brightness test. Okay, just give it a few seconds. There we go. And this is added. We can now see, okay, we've got an extra failure. My pass rate is down, and I can see that it happened on a LCD video test. So I've made separate panels for that. So here I can see, let me just zoom out a little bit. I can see this, usually I read a value of about 4-ish, and then it suddenly shot up to 30, causing the fail. And here I can see I've got no dead pixels. That's an alternative failure condition, and I can see how long the step took. I can also go and look up more specific values. So here I'm looking at the actual microphone measurement. So here I can see I'm reading between these values. That's still a pass, and I can see the test takes 1.5 seconds to complete. Okay, in this case my SQL call is a bit more complicated because I'm looking up values from 3 tables at once. So I want to get the time from UUT result, I want to get the specific steps from step result, and I want to get the reading from property result. And here I'm just looking up my step and looking up my result. Now if I'm happy with this, I can simply go to share. I can generate a URL and I can publish this on the network so that anyone who's interested can have a look at the data. I can also password protect this if I wanted to. So Grafana is a nice free tool that we can use, but really we can use any tool that allows us to run SQL queries. If you have any questions about how you can maximize your TestStand database, please feel free to contact us at sales@testdynamics.co.za. Okay, have a nice day.